Now, this video may seem a little out of place for my normal sales advice, but hear me out here. Self-care and taking care of yourself will help you create that energy so that you can make more sales. And I have some excellent tips right in here, something that I do on my regular basis. And I have some really great tips within this video. So make sure you are watching all the way to the end and find out why this is so important for making more sales. Hey, it's Tom Jacobs here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I love dropping nuggets of information to help you improve sales, especially for the solopreneur and solo practitioner. So let's get into how you create more energy and bring that to the sales. Have you heard of that saying, energy in, energy out? I'm probably butchering that quite a bit. But in sales, it's so important to have the right energy when you are going into a sales conversation. And if you are not taking care of yourself on a regular basis, your sales are probably going to be suffering. I believe 100% that salespeople need to do a lot of self-care, because that self-care is going to rejuvenate you. It's going to re-energize you so that when you come to the sales conversations, you have this whole energy about you that is contagious. The person that is more convinced is the one that's going to be making the sale. And if you are more convinced that this product and service can help you because your energy is so high, well, it's so contagious, and that prospect's going to buy into what you are saying. Look, sales is a combat game. And I say that with a little bit of sarcasm there. But when you're thinking about the energy level that you need to go into a sales conversation, to really be active listening to your prospect and be completely present, well, that takes a lot of mental clarity and energy on your own part. And what I've found is that when I am exercising on a regular basis and I am eating properly, my energy level is a lot higher. And in fact, I had a really great meal before making this video. Can you tell? My energy is really up there. And so every salesperson needs to be taking that time for self-care, exercise, the right nutrition, so that you can have that mental clarity to now have a great conversation with your prospect, be actively listening, and ultimately make that sale. Now, the way that I do self-care is probably a lot different than most people, and it's just the way that it works for me. And what I encourage everybody to do is to find what works for them that's going to give them the energy and the mental clarity to be able to have those sales. So on a daily basis, I do a couple things. Number one, I do intermittent fasting. It just tends to work for me. So I'll go 18 hours fasting, and then the rest of the time is 6 hours of eating in that time. And that tends to give me some really good energy. And then every day, the first thing that I do is I go to the gym, and I typically do a nice cardio session. I'm going to do a lot of stretching as well, because I do sit a lot at the desk. And then after that, I'm going to go into the jacuzzi, and I'm just going to just melt away with that heat therapy. And that gives me so much energy to attack the day and to make those sales calls really, really good. As they say, sales is a combat sport, and it kind of is sometimes, because you're going to have some really great winning streaks, and then you're going to also have those slumps that tend to zap the energy out of you. And one thing that I've found to be so effective is when I am in that one of those slumps, I'm going to do two very important things. The very first thing that I'm going to do is stop, and I'm going to slow down, and I'm going to take a break. The second thing is I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to get some sweat flowing, and I'm going to let that mind clear up, so that when I come back into the work, I'm able to attack it with full energy again. Don't let those slumps just ruin your entire day. Just take a break. They're going to happen. And then find that activity that's going to bring that energy back in. Now, when you have energy, you're actively listening, and you are making those connections with your prospects, there is definitely a lot of commonality with you, your energy, and that prospect. And one thing that I find that's kind of interesting is that when you come to a sales conversation, you have all this energy, and the prospect is maybe having a bad day and they seem down a little bit. Your own energy is contagious. It's going to bring them back up. But what's really interesting, they'll probably ask is like, look, Tom, like, what's going on? Like, you seem so happy all the time, everything. And then you can share what you do on a regular basis to keep your energy up, keep your mind clear. And oftentimes that creates a better connection with your prospect because now you're helping them with their overall energy and mental clarity. I can't think of a better way with creating common ground with your prospects than sharing something that you do that works that they could try too. I remember when I went through my own body transformation where I lost 40 pounds of fat, I gained 10 pounds of muscle in a matter of 12 weeks. And I remember all of my colleagues at the time were asking, what's your secret? What are you doing? How are you doing this? And I found so much joy in explaining exactly what I was doing. I was eating every 2 hours. That was back when I wasn't doing intermittent fasting, but I was eating smaller meals more frequently, which was creating this great furnace within inside me. I was exercising 6 days a week, not really heavy, but just doing it consistently. And when I was explaining this to other people, they were like, wow, this seems a lot easier than I thought it would be. And just sharing that information with others got them to be a little bit more cognizant about their own health and wellness. And many of my colleagues started on that same transformation that I started as well. And when you do that, you will help so many more people, not just the sales that you'll make, but on a personal level as well. A lot of people who work from home complain a lot of times that there's a very blurred line between the work and life balance. And I totally get that. I mean, on the other side of this wall is my bedroom, and this side of the wall is my kitchen. I am inside my home while doing work. So yes, the work-life balance is going to be not traditional to going into an office from 8 until 5. You get an hour for lunch and all that good stuff. What this does for you is gives you the opportunity to design your day as you like, especially as a remote worker. And so you can start to take a little bit more of those little mini breaks that maybe that's effective for you to clear the mind, go do a load of laundry and then come back to your work. Or you take an hour and you go work out, you have all this energy, and now you're ready to attack that day. Even though you are working from home does not mean that you don't have that split between work and life. It's just a matter of creating that schedule for yourself and finding what works for you. I do a lot of